Let me ask the two of you a question. Has either of you ever dealt with the financial side of arranging a funeral? Funerals usually cost $14,000. What most people don't realize is life insurance doesn't handle funerals, the expenses of funerals, the way that it used to. The way that it used to work was if something happened to Matt Nicole, you would take his life insurance policy to the funeral director. That would serve as collateral until the insurance check shows up. It doesn't work that way anymore. They used to have to pay on your policy within 24 days. Now they can hang on to your policy up to 60 days. Why do you think they do that? Interest. Millions and millions of dollars is being made off the interest. That's why so many families are being burned with out of pocket expenses when it comes funeral time. Another thing that's happening is there's two groups going around buying all the funeral homes and all the cemeteries in the US and Canada. Oh, excuse me. One's out of Texas called SCI, one's out of Canada called the Elderwood Group. Their goal is to become the Walmart of the funeral industry. The reason why I tell you this is because their corporate policy is to have 50% of all costs up front. I'm not sure your guys' current financial situation, but most families I sit down with, they don't have an extra $7,000 just lying around. And the ones that do, they don't want to use that money because of all the bills that come in afterwards. That's why they came up with this. This is called the Freedom of Choice Funeral Certificate. The way this works is if something happened to Matt Nicole, it doesn't matter where, when, why, or how. It could be tomorrow, God forbid. Could be 50 years from now. Could be cancer, disease, or anything in between. You'll simply take this certificate to any funeral home in the U.S. They'll accept it. In fact, they love it because it's backed by big, powerful unions, just like yours. They know they're going to get paid. So let's say you wanted that traditional funeral you talked about earlier, and let's say it costs 15,000. What you're going to do is you're going to turn it over. You're going to write 15,000 right here, fill out the arrangements, sign as the beneficiary. Everything's taken care of. There's not one out-of-pocket cost. As long as you keep Matt's funeral under $30,000, and Matt, you keep Nicole's funeral under $30,000. These are two very important numbers. The funeral director, when you walk out of the funeral home, he's going to call this number right here at our corporate office. He's going to ask us two questions. One, are you a member? When I leave here today, you will be. Two, how much money do you have to work with? If I told them you had $30,000 to work with, what do you think that funeral's magically going to cost? $30,000. It shouldn't work that way. We don't allow it to work that way. What we do is we never reveal that number, and we ask that you never reveal that number. We'll simply pay the $15,000 and cut you and the kids a check for the difference. It's the cleanest, easiest, most compassionate way to deal with what's going to happen to all of us. It's sort of like prearranged funerals. Have you guys heard of prearrangements? Prearrangements are great in concept. Everything's taken care of prior to death. This is the exact same thing. But remember, this is permanent and portable. You're not locked into one specific funeral home. And prearrangements cost up to $100 a month, and they only pay out what you've already paid into them. This is a guaranteed check for $30,000 for both of you. You each get a certificate. Does this make sense to both of you? Do you understand how important it is to have this certificate and have both your funerals taken care of? Why is it so important to you, Matt? Why is it so important to you, Nicole? Yeah, it's clean. It's easy. So this makes sense to both of you? Okay.